This next story is, I want you to welcome Amin El Gamal. He's going to be reading as Numan Afifi. And welcome back, Hazan Mike Stein. Mike Stein is underscoring.
My name is Numan Afifi. I'm a Malaysian graphic designer and activist. I was forced to leave my home. This is my story. I was born in Penang, the first child of an Islamist mother and father. My father founded the Muslim Brotherhood throughout his adult life. I grew up with their ideology. It was the only thing my family knew. When I was old enough to go to school, I went to a madrasa run by the Muslim Brotherhood. They have their own education system, which they use to indoctrinate children from a young age. I was very active in this school, received good marks. When I was 18, I was in charge of recruiting members for the Brotherhood and organizing summer camps for thousands of young members. You could say I was steeped in Islamist ideology. The irony was that I knew I was gay since before entering school. Having been exposed to the rhetoric of Islamism, I knew it was best to keep quiet about my sexuality. I was not ashamed of myself, though. Having read the Hadith and investigated my religion, I realized that there's nothing wrong with me. It was a lonely realization. I knew most people wouldn't understand the way I felt, so I kept it to myself. In 2010, I moved to the UK to attend university in Middlesbrough. I was still engaged in my work recruiting members for the Brotherhood, but being miles away gave me the opportunity to explore my personality and identity further. I discovered Muslims for progressive values and followed them from afar. Things were very good for me in the UK until about my third year. I became afraid of going back to my old life. I was even more afraid of being betrothed when I returned, as was the custom. I did not want to marry a woman. It was against the way I am. Luckily, that never happened. Upon my return home in 2014, my father was having surgery, so my family was too distracted to find me a wife. I took up work as a graphic designer and lived a cozy existence. Around the same time, a young man named Aizath reached out to me in a graphic designers group about forming Komunitu Muslim Universal, KMU, a progressive Muslim organization in Malaysia. I was very excited about the opportunity of forming a community-based organization focused on intersectional work. As I began working with KMU, I felt immediately at home. Annie Zonneveld, MPV's president, was a tremendous support for me. Her vision helped me understand that KMU's work was about changing hearts and minds. Since KMU was a sister organization of MPV, Annie and I worked very closely. In 2015, we jointly organized the Counter-Radicalism Symposium with Annie as the featured speaker. We were very excited for this landmark event. Some extremists were not. They wanted to intimidate us, so they launched a nasty Facebook campaign to scare us out of hosting the event. Even the police were beginning to threaten our members. We were receiving nasty, frightening messages. It was terrible. Fearing for their safety, the hotel shut down our event. The rabid resistance that met our symposium was very sobering. I know many KMU members have remained anonymous because they feared repercussions. I know gays sometimes are badly mistreated by their own families, but I never realized how immediate the danger was. The problem is that laws in Malaysia are unclear. They are often twisted to target nonconformists. That means there's a great deal of ambiguity, which repressive figures exploit. The situation since 2015 has only grown bleaker. Recently, the Malaysian government formed a think tank website tasked to lead a witch hunt of activists and human rights defenders, especially progressive Muslims in the country. I fell victim to this witch hunt. in the past year, after some conservative media outlets released a slew of libelous articles about me, my colleagues, KMU, and Ani. It reached a boiling point when my address was posted online. I began receiving multiple death threats. My family was being harassed. I was in grave danger. I lost my job, my home, and was cut out by my family. I became a nobody. Luckily, through unnamed sources, I was able to secure funds to relocate temporarily until things cooled down. Recently, I made the decision to return to Malaysia. It is my home, where I belong. I know it won't be easy, and I intend to reclaim it, because I know we can be better. My name is Numan Afifi, and this is my story.